Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Nullified Tech channel here on YouTube, where we've got the TNT takes for you on Squid Game, the challenge, baby. Woo! I'm so excited to be talking about the second week of the show, and I'm joined today by another fantastic guest. She was with us for the preview of Squid Game, and when we did the preview, she had not seen the original Squid Game, but she has come in here as a winner of watching the Korean Squid Game and the reality TV Squid Game. At the same time, it is my favorite Survivor UK co-host. It is the great, the wonderful, the fantastic V. V, how are you?
I'm covered in flies. Don't mind me. I'm outside again, but no, I'm keen. I think I am a winner of watching most reality TV shows. I think it's the only way I'll win any of those shows.
Yeah, well, all we can do is just sit back, observe, watch the winner's edit, which I can with very much confidence in me, V. I can tell you this: there is no such thing as a winner's edit in Squid Game. No such thing. If you think
I was so confident in Trey winning this whole thing. I was so confident.
Me too. Like
I knew their tricks.
When he landed that second glass bridge, I was like, is he just going to do this for the rest of the time here? Like, is he just going to hopscotch his way through, like a hoppity hop, skippity skip? But nah, he's gone. All the main characters we knew from the first 5 episodes are gone, and we're left with a bunch of randoms. But, you know, just before we dive deep into that, V, what was your thoughts on, I guess, the first week of Squid Game, episodes 1 to 5? How are you feeling coming into the second week?
Blew me away. It's a masterpiece. You know, I was thinking, oh, there's sort of a level of that the scripted show, of course, is so brutal because people die. Yeah. And I thought, you know, this is so vanilla, but it was still so brutal in the sense that these people were up against trying to get $4 million, which I don't know if they knew from the start how high it would get, but it went to the millions pretty quick. And it does change people. It doesn't have to be life or death. The money can change people in itself. And maybe more so because they have no sort of sympathy that they might kill someone. They're like, oh, well, they just miss out on $1 million. That's fine. I'll do that. I love the brutality. I loved the rawness of it. I love the sets. The sets are pretty much identical. I had a blast. It's a fantastic series. I hope they continue.
Yeah, and I guess just really quick, let's just quick touch base. What do you think of the Korean drama?
Loved it. Again, a masterpiece. Just really special. Yeah. Just beautiful and surprising.
Yeah, like you never quite know which way it's going to twist and turn, right? And I feel the exact same with reality TV Squid Game. I feel like we were sort of following the contestants with the contestants where we're like, okay, so Cookie won. Yeah, you know, next tug of war. Oh, wait. It's warships. Well, as Kahuna would say, battleships. Sorry, Hasbro. But yeah, and then you know, even with like the marbles game, the players just did not see it coming. You know, they had a nice picnic, but then underneath the picnic was a big absolutely gut wrenching. Let's quickly talk about marbles. So, in the Korean drama, the marbles game was a massive turning point in the show. Right, you know, and just the previous game was tug of war. You had all the main characters on one team, and we're like, okay, this is our main characters, this is our crew, these are people that will get to the end, and then they kill half of them off in the next episode, right? And yeah, so how did you think this reality TV version of Marbles held up to the Korean drama?
Well, I think you and Kahuna were saying last week that there was the assumption that all the contestants had seen the original show, and so they had to subvert some of those expectations. Like if they said everyone get into pairs, people would immediately think marbles and strategize that way. And so I thought it was a neat little trick. I believe you and Kahuna said that you kind of saw it coming, or Kahuna said he saw it coming when they were doing, but that it took me by surprise until Trey discovered when he was looking through, I was like, oh, there are going to be marbles. And that was the only point that because I just didn't know what to expect. And I think next season they'll have to subvert it even more.
Yeah. I mean, you literally saw my live reaction to that. Where like I was messaging you and you would tell me how good the ending was, and I was like, oh, they're in pairs. I bet you there's marbles. I was like, oh my gosh, there's marbles. I knew it. And it was like, if you are the producers that moment, you are exciting. You got best mates together. You've got a mother and a son together. You know,
it was perfect.
It really was perfect. But we lost so many big names, like just in this marbles game. You know, it gets quite similar to a Korean drama. One player specifically, Felicia, I believe that's her name. Do you recall who Felicia is?
See, so usually I wasn't sure if I'd be making this podcast this week, so I didn't write notes, and so the names escaped me. But I know that you know, we lost some significant players, and it was interesting how each pair kind of dealt. You know, we had a little bit of everything. I'd like to take a moment to discuss the deaf woman and the man that started accusing her of using it for sympathy. Yeah, and I thought that was just chef's kiss. That was beautiful.
Yeah, I mean,
I just wanted him to win for the sheer audacity of it.
I mean, like, you had a couple pairs, right? Where there's even that one pair where this, like, Aurora, I believe her name was. She was like, you know, I'm fine with anything as long as it's not throwing. It's like, okay, I only want to throw. And she's like, but I just said I can't. And it's like, you're being so unreasonable right now. Like, you got to compromise. And oh gosh, I was just laughing. Like,
and they were really just at an impasse. They really and I think they were just playing chicken with each other to wait for one of them go yes to whatever you say, because I don't want us to both be out. Yeah. And then even when they decide to play, the relationship fell apart even further and they both got eliminated. You know, I just thought that was fabulous. Yeah,
there is a really cool website on Netflix where you can see the entire cast and I guess like the status of the cast and whatnot. So it's quickly share my screen. So the whole slideshow, that I made last week means completely nothing compared to this. But Felicia 229, she was the one who made the really big move in the Jackbox challenge, which is allowed to eliminate two people, and she took out both Rick and Steven, you know, two really big names on the cast, two great characters.
That was huge.
And coming into this, I was like, okay, she's going to be like a dark horse for the second half of this game, kind of similar to Sung Woo, where you know, you look at Sung Woo, and then up until marbles, like he had a couple moments where, like, he realized what the cookie game was, but he still let his friend do the umbrella. You know, he still had a couple villainous moments here and there. But it was really after marbles, that's when he kicked into full gear, right? And he's killing people left, right, and center. I thought potentially this is Felicia's Sung Woo story, right? You know, she comes in, takes two of the biggest characters out, enters marbles with Ashley, who's got like a fantastic backstory, but you know, we'll definitely be getting into it later. And we definitely will. And I was just so gutted for Felicia. I think she copped a lot of hate on social media as well. I think quite a number of people in the cast have copped a lot of hate, which I know that a lot of people here who are on our podcast probably won't be those type of people, but yeah, it's just sad to see that you make such a great, big, shocking move, and all the fans do is just be like, "Oh, you're terrible, you're a horrible person." But it was the right move.
It does seem to be this sort of false morality with a lot of reality TV fans, where they decide that sort of day-to-day morality should be in the whole existence of these reality shows, and it's just it number one is not the way to play any of these games, and number two doesn't make enjoyable television. If everyone was being really lovely to each other, you wouldn't get the moments that we get and the highs and the lows. And so you want a villain, you want someone that makes big moves and makes the hard moves And so I get really confused with the vitriol that a lot of these players get.
Yeah, no, me too. It's it happens a lot in Australian Surviving. Just pretty much, I'm pretty sure it happens across every reality show where a player will make a move, and people just feel like, oh, you know what? I'm going to send them a personal message of why I hate
personal.
them.
Yeah,
I want you to know
ridiculous.
it's from me. All right.
Yeah.
It's just horrible, and I feel really bad for Felicia. Her one big move she made was fantastic, jaw dropping. I wish we got to see more of her. But a couple of other jurors we got to see. Shanae. Do you remember who Shanae is?
Can you bring up the picture?
All right.
No.
Right, just give me a moment. Where is Shanae? All right, here we go. Share screen. Boom. Right, Shanae. So Shanae, just to recap,
yes.
she was the leader of the 4-person alliance, and she made the big move to get the doc out. We lost her in the game of marbles as well, which that was just really gut-wrenching. And Jada.
She had a lot of potential.
And Jada. Do you know who Jada is? Or do I need to bring her up?
Just assume I don't, because my brain is not good with names.
Right. Number 97, Jada. She was also,
of course, yes.
We always kept hearing her perspective and her opinion on things. And I thought, you know what? She's probably going to make it quite deep in this game. I felt like her, Trey, Felicia could be a dark horse. Shanae's going to be a powerhouse. Like TJ, I kind of thought we would lose them around the, stepping stones area. But a lot of the main characters over just got knocked out. Like left, right, and center.
Yeah, it's remarkable, and you sort of at some point it's got to be the way, because it started to occur to me, if Trey was to be in the final, it would be pretty clear that he was going to win, because he'd been such a main character from the start. So then I sort of start to second guess my whole theory anyway. And so, but you just get so attached to so many of these players. I love the really not misogynistic, alpha males. I love them that are just like, they think that they're like mission control for NASA, or they're like a Navy SEAL or something. And I thought that was just really fun to watch. But it was sad to see.
By all means, I don't think Trey was an alpha male, but I do think
no.
Yeah, but someone like a Brighton.
You're TJ and
TJ, you're Brighton, and you're Chads. It was quite funny, because the more I watched these next series of episodes, the more I realized Brighton had no chance of winning. No chance of winning. A game we'll get into in a second is literally the circle of trust. Everyone would have just been putting their box onto Brighton's.
Well, it was. I mean, that was a fabulous game as well. That it just seems so simple, and then you're like, oh my gosh, this is not simple. This is crazy.
Yeah, and someone who we do also lose, unfortunately, is Leanne or Lean. I'm not sure how you say it, but Trey's mum. Leanne. What did you think of Leanne's story this season?
I love that she didn't just hand it over to her son. I think on behalf of, I'm a mother myself, and you give up so much of your identity and even your personality for your child. And the fact that she was not just going to let him win because of some sob story, I just wanted to high five her through the screen. I thought that was just beautiful. And I was really hoping she'd walk away with it. And it would have been like a triumph for mothers everywhere. But she lost fair and square. She didn't lose with any sort of giving it to him at all. She lost fair and square equally, and that's what happens. Yeah,
I feel like we really got to see a couple games play out, but one game I would have loved to see play out is one between Jada and, is it May or Mai?
I think it's Mai.
It's Mai.
I think that's what I've heard most often.
Where has Mai been these first 5
I
episodes.
know. Makes me want to go back to the first episode and watch and see if I can spot her.
Like it would not be a surprise if, just like Ulnam in the Korean drama, there was no light around him, red light, green light. You know, if there was some sneaky way she somehow made her way through. She's just been wheeling and dealing, strategizing her way through everywhere. Yeah, like as we got to know Mai later on, I was thinking, does she like Sungwoo Jada? Now, there's a meme that the boys and I have made, you know, the boys at home, which is called Get Sungwooed. So whenever we like trick each other, manipulate each other or anything, I will present the meme now. Just give me a second. Boom. Screen share. Here you go. This is the meme right here. So whenever we like trick each other or manipulate each other, we just always send each other this meme, handmade by myself. But like how, like what's been your thoughts on Mai so far in the second half of the show?
Yeah, that sort of, I think she was laying low for a reason, and not making any giant moves straight out the gate. I am really keen to go back to the first couple of episodes and watch out for her and see how she does it. All the final 3, I feel like, have been fairly quiet up until this point, whether that's the edit, maybe that's strategy, probably strategy. People are all really smart. So, and they're perceptive as well, and they can read people. And I think that's what ultimately is the attributes you need to have going into the game. They see that seems to be what gets you through, not any sort of physicality at all.
Yeah, exactly. And
I mean, warships, you just stood there. It was, once you were standing in your spot, your life was in someone else's hand.
Yeah, it's quite interesting because the Korean drama was always based around strength, right? You know, it was always like, oh, we gotta make all these different alliances because of tug of war. And at the start of the show, it was about that. Everyone wanted to be Brighton's friend, just so that when tug of war came, like he would have them, right? But we haven't had tug of war yet, and I heavily doubt we will get tug of war with just 3 players left. But like majority of the game has just been strategy or just pure luck.
There's been no real physical feats of strength at all. Yeah.
If anything, the only physical game has been red light, green light.
And even that is, I don't know what physical attributes really would contribute to that. It seems to be that everyone's on a fairly level playing field. Yeah,
exactly. But we come back from Marbles and we lost so many great characters, but we still got a few there. Still got Trey, we still got TJ. We get introduced to a few others as well. There's a couple members of the Gunbu gang still left. But if you thought any main characters was, going to make it towards the end, it's very quickly cut short once again, because we get introduced to a twist where they had to select a leader. And TJ is like, do you trust me to lead y'all? And, this was a really funny moment for me, because this is where we get introduced to Mai first, where when Mai says to him, I trust you so much, you are a leader. And then she just talks a lot of crap behind his back on how much she doesn't like him, how much she doesn't trust him, and how he's a bad leader and it should have been Chad or something, And then...
Well, I think she was just stoked that someone was happy to go first as a leader.
Yeah, pretty much. And then we get introduced to what the twist is, where it's sort of like a game of dominoes, right? Where, one person stands up and you have to choose another person, then they have to choose another person. And I think it was 11 players had to get eliminated. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, they're going to run out of people for games like at this point. What was your thoughts on the twist?
Well, once that sort of happened, I actually, even after the Marbles, I thought, so I guess they're not doing tug of war. I guess that one's not in it, because I feel like they've lost so many players that they only have 2 teams, and then that makes it kind of another way to get rid of 50%. But yeah, so that was sort of my thoughts around that time. I
Mm.
thought, I think they're cutting again to keep the audience on their toes. But
Yeah.
I did. I mean, you know me and gendered alliances. I'm not a fan, but I was rooting for the ladies. I was rooting for those girls
was
to
too.
get up there. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. That just really inspired me when, you know, to any sort of that alliance sticking together. And
Mm.
again, we lost some good players. We lost some of those alpha males that I thought were just so hysterical and brutal. That was a brutal game.
Yeah, it was quite funny because they started doing this whole like we got to pick all the ladies women's alliance all the way, and then Jackie's and TJ picks Mai, and then Mai just picks another guy, and it almost like stuffs up quite a few times where Mai ends up picking another guy,
Yeah.
and then eventually the women, they get back on track, they're choosing each other, and then Jackie chooses Phil, and is heavily relying,
which I think is, you know, you got to do what you got to do as well. I think that women's alliance was quite late compared to some of those personal alliances that they'd had from the very beginning. So, you got to do what you got to do. You can't just go,
absolutely.
oh, well, we've just been talking about the ladies, so I've got to throw out every other relationship I have and go with the ladies,
Yeah, exactly. But I was quite glad to see all the ladies did manage to make the top 20, I believe it was. And unfortunately, we almost lost Trey. I was so worried. I was like, no, Trey can't go out like this. Come on. But thankfully Trey does get picked, and we get introduced to a few other characters like James, like Roland along the way, who were, like Trey's allies. But once again, if you thought anything in the first 5 episodes mattered, you were wrong, because we get introduced to the Glass Bridge game, and once again, a fantastic twist to this game, right? Where a problem that I had coming into the show was, the 3 games everyone's gonna be able to like sort of rig or play is marbles, because they know once you get into pairs, don't get into pairs with your bestie. Find someone you want to eliminate. The cookie one, because no one's going to pick the umbrella.
Don't choose the umbrella.
And the glass bridge, because everyone's just going to go grab the back one, right? But we saw there was a great twist for marbles, great twist for the cookie one, and once again another great twist for the glass bridge game. What did you think of this twist to the glass bridge game?
Again, brutal. Every step of the way, luck is taken out of it, but it's sort of luck with a bit of twisted human emotion. And you sort of, the luck that you draw is the luck of what hand are you going to be dealing to someone else? And you are dealt that hand to pass on. You can't choose what hand is dealt to you to pass on, but you choose who you pass it on to. And I thought that was just fabulous. And I think that's where the mind games, the brutality of it come in. And again, like you said, everyone would have just raced for the back bibs, and it would have just been hopeless. So it was just fabulous. And the way they figured out their own little twist was fabulous, where everyone had a turn at going 50-50 to jump. I thought,
well, not everyone.
I mean, it's very cool. Well, not everyone.
Not everyone. We'll get into that.
It was a very sort of kumbaya notion, which I don't think is necessary, but it's the way they all figured it out. And I thought that was, at number one, I went, okay, so we won't immediately lose all those people at the front. And so it's more interesting to watch, because otherwise you just go, okay, first one's there, gone, and then the last ones will be fine. So I thought that was fabulous. But like you said, not everyone decided to play kumbaya and play fair.
Well, I was really gutted.
Frustrating.
I was really gutted. I know that a lot of people online seem to like Jackie, but when Jackie handed that number 1 Viv to TJ and was like, "You're our leader. You're the one who's gonna lead us all the way for the glass bridge," I was like, "Stop this! Stop this! Like, stop killing off our main characters." Oh my god!
Very convenient. Yeah, I thought he was done. I was like, "Well, he's out."
Yeah, literally. And then when Trey got number 3, I was like, "No, No, this can't be happening. How does TJ and Trey are in the first three, and then they come up with this rule, and they're like, okay, so everyone's going to do 50-50, right? Everyone's going to take turns, and it's like, yes, TJ might have a chance. Yes, Trey might have a chance. I was a bit worried because another main character who I forgot to mention is B. Do you recall who she is? Nope. All right. I will quickly bring up the cast. No. Just give me a moment. Share screen. Here we go. So she was introduced to us through Warships. She's the person with one of the top IQ in London, I believe. And she absolutely smashed the Battleship Challenge. She's a gamer as well, from what I know. And it was her, Trey, and TJ were like, okay, these are like the three main characters we know from the first 5 episodes coming in, right? Which even then B and TJ weren't really main characters until like Warships.
Oh, right? Yes. Oh, I loved her. Yeah. Oh,
I loved her too. Yeah. I loved her too. It's quite funny because I literally reached out to her as well on Instagram. And I was like, hey, just want to say I love the game you're playing. I think you're doing so well. And then she rolled the 6. It's like, well, I just sent that message. And she gets eliminated. But, I was a bit worried. At first, I liked where she was. At first, I liked where she was. She was like number 18 or 19 in the Viv. So I was like, okay, at least she's going to make it through. But I was really worried for Trey and TJ. And, poor TJ. The first one he jumped on, bam, he's out. What did you think of TJ as a whole?
I love that alpha male thing. I think that's just so much fun to watch. I love that they didn't show us what they were falling on, because I was looking in the screen trying to see like a crash mat or wires. I was wondering if they were just going to be wired up and lifted down. Yeah. Look, I'm assuming that there was a crash mat pretty like what you see I think it was edited to remove the bottom half. It wasn't as high as it looked because they can't risk anyone getting injured in any way. So I believe that was a little bit of visual effects trickery in that. And it's interesting they didn't show us. You're just sort of like, oh my God. It's like it's Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory where it's just like, what happened to these children?
I mean, there's even a couple like wide shots where it showed the full thing. And it's like, where's the crash mat? Like, where's the bottom? But something from my
I guarantee it's not that high.
Well, something from my experience with working in short films, there was one project I worked on where there's a scene where these two characters fall off a cliff, and we did have a crash mat, and it was pretty far away, the crash mat and the top of the cliff, and it was only like a small crash mat, but the actors were perfectly fine falling onto it. So I wonder, maybe the bigger the crash mat or something, the more it can absorb the person falling onto it. I'm not sure. I was not the one doing the jumping, so but
well, I mean, perhaps I don't think it would be nearly that high. I also found it interesting that you also didn't hear them land as well. So I think there was quite a bit of artistic license taken there in the edit to sort of make sure you couldn't hear like a thud as someone landed on a crash mat and went, It was edited so they just sort of disappeared. But I've got a problem with heights anyway, even if it was like a couple of feet down, just you land on the glass thing and you don't know if it's going to open or not. It's like the squibs. The squibs would still hurt and they would be a shock, especially in red light, green light. If you're not expecting it, it'd be like being hit by a paintball. Like it would still give you a fright. So like jump, even though you're not going to die, dude, that would terrify. I'd be like, oh God, I can't do this one.
Yeah, it's quite funny because I grew up with airplanes and whatnot. I've been in tons of airplanes. I've been in a hot air balloon, but I don't know, just when I'm not in an airplane or hot air balloon and I'm really high up, I just feel uncomfortable, right? So if I couldn't see the bottom, I'd be, But also, I'm just so clumsy. I would jump on and be like, what? And I'll just slip right off.
I know, you just fall off the side anyway.
Yeah. But strategy...
They weren't far away because they had black in the middle. Because I I watched this very carefully because I have such a problem with heights, and there was a lot more surface area for everyone. There wasn't the gaps in between like in the original show.
Yeah, I do think like even when Ashley jumped, it wasn't really a jump; it was just like a walk forward, right? But yeah, they're probably told to jump to make it more cinematic, right? But something that I did think of though, I wonder if you're allowed to just lie on it and just like grab onto one, pull yourself across, immediately grab for the other one, because surely 2 in a row aren't going to break, right? I mean, it could happen, but just like crawl your way across.
I wonder if one of the pink guys would go, hey, no, do it properly.
Or just do it like
they just start stepping forward and go, everyone play properly.
Or just do like what the one soccer guy did and the Korean one, where you just start sprinting and jumping across all of them.
Well, I mean, that would be a strategy, just to run as fast as you can, because it did look like I felt like the with the glass thing, it would break whenever it broke, but I felt like someone was controlling those trapdoors, like, and then down you go. So if you're quicker than the guy with the button.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure they were told, like, maybe it's for people's safety or something, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure they were told, okay, you jump onto a glass bridge and then it'll open if it's the wrong one, right? I think...
wait to see if you're right or not,
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's why they'll, like, prevent people from accidentally, like, not really sticking the landing, then it opens and they hit their heads on the bar or something, to prevent injury. But,
that's true.
Yeah, but... poor TJ, he's out straight away, and then person with the number 2 vest out straight away, and then it's just poor Trey, and I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, it was so unfair. He stuck one, and then, Ashley was meant to go, but Ashley did not go. Oh, no, it was someone else, I think. I think someone else jumped. Yeah, because Ashley was number 5, so someone else jumped and failed. And then is that what happened, or did they win? I'm not sure.
No, so I think Ashley was directly behind Trey.
Okay.
Trey had his turn. Trey was successful.
Yeah.
And then Ashley was meant to go, and he sort of looked back, and there was no way she wasn't she just wasn't having a bar of it. And so he decided to go again and really took the bullet for her. And then she decided to go, because then she was in front. And she was like, and that was her whole... To skip ahead, her bullshit story to Mai of like, I jumped.
Yeah, I'm a team player. I jumped once, and then I said, okay, let's stick to the team plan. Which I don't know about UV, but I don't like confrontation, but I will just for TV, right? If I was there on the glass bridge, I'm either pushing her, or I'm telling her, nah, like I ain't moving. None of us are moving till you fall or make it to the other side, because she refused to stick to the plan like with everyone else. But at the same time, I know Ashley's been getting a lot of hate online for this. She's spoken out about this. I think Felicia, spoke out about it, and a couple other players. Well, do you think it sucks because we lost Trey, which Trey was our main character in the first week of the show? Like, if you had to make one person main character, it was him and his mum, right? But like, I don't think any hate should go Ashley's way. She made it as far as she did because of that one move, and I may disagree with it, but I can applaud her in terms of somehow she was able to make everyone else go, like, just go past her. Like that's what was most shocking to me.
It's not real life,
Exactly.
It's pretend.
It's just a game.
And it's no reflection of who she is as a person, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was a dick move in the game, not in real life. In the game, it was a dick move, but all right, it was.
But at the same time, it's kind of like, how much of it is we don't like it because we lost Trey, compared to how much do we like it as a move? Because maybe if it's a random, we're kind of like, actually, that was smart, But since it's Trey, everyone loves Trey. Like, I've never seen a single bad thing about Trey. I think the entire audience loved Trey as well. Like, it just hurts a bit more.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You can blame that on the edit, you know, she could have been the hero. We could have been applauding her. So, you know, it's not real life. It's not. It's not who she is as a human being. It's, you know, it's just, and it was interesting to watch, you know, and yeah, I probably would have pushed her off too. Just pushed her off the side and went, well, there you go.
Yeah.
If you're not going to go, you're not going to go. Off you go.
Yeah. We, you know, at the end of, you know, at the end of this game, I looked at everyone who's remaining. It's like, okay, B and Ashley are the only two people I know. Like out of everyone left, they're the only two I know, because we had at least seen them in the previous week for a bit, right? You know, we had Ashley's backstory last week, and then we finally got Ashley the character this week. And then we get introduced to the dice game, which, what a sucker punch, V. What a sucker punch. So basically, the dice game was you had to stand in a circle and you had to roll a die. If it lands on 6, the person either you choose will be eliminated. Now, as a team, they all came together. They're like, yep, we're going to just nominate ourselves, right? Kumbaya. Otherwise, things get nasty, things get personal. And then Mai rolls the dice first, and she's like, I'm going to go for Ashley.
She risked a lot with that move. Risked a lot.
Did,
well, I mean, it ended up being just sort of, then Ashley nominated her, and it ended up being even Stevens anyway. So
yeah.
You know, but that could have really started something there of everyone just laying into Mai because she didn't kumbaya with everyone in the same way. So that was probably a bit of a dumb move on her behalf, but she got away with it. So,
but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. There's something that I talked about with Kahuna as well. Maybe that's just because of my age, but you know, I'm on a reality show. I want to have the time of my life. I want to make those jaw-dropping TV moments, right? That, you know, everyone will be like, Mucky, what on earth are you doing? Right? You know, it's
the flashy moves, yeah.
The flashy moves, yeah. And I feel like Mai's done that a couple times where she's like, yes, the Stick With This All Girls Alliance is going to go great. And then, you know, you had to pick someone to come with her. Oh, I just realized something I forgot to talk about earlier. So Mai was talking crap about TJ, and then TJ saves her not once, but twice, because he is so loyal to her. He picks her first in like the sort of, you know, that domino challenge, and then he gets the number 20 vest and he gives it to Mai. He's like, see, I got you. Like, if I was like Chad or someone else in their sort of group, I'll be thinking, what the hell? She was just script talking him an hour ago. But anyways, back to the dice game. So what did you think of this game?
So I'm just getting some more headphones. Again, brutal. Just incredible. I couldn't believe that, you know, again, luck puts people in the position and then they choose what they do with it. And yeah, it just, again, no one was safe. There was no real strategy behind it. It was just, it was just brutal.
Yeah, and when the die eventually got to B, and she had the confessional of, you know, I always roll a 6, I was thinking, no, please, not B. And then it was meant to be. See what I did there? See what I did? Meant to be. Oh. Yeah, we did see B get eliminated. I was so gutted.
I know. It was, yeah, I loved her. I loved her and the blonde British woman, that whole alliance they had. I was rooting for them. Yeah. And again, we meet people, we love them. They are taken from us.
Yeah, exactly.
Although I've loved B since Warships.
Yeah, me too. Like, since we finally got introduced to her in Warships, absolutely loved her. And, you know, when B, you know, after that game, I will admit, after that game, it was like 3 a.m. for me, because since the episodes dropped, straight after our Survivor UK podcast B, I just started watching all the episodes. And and as soon as B left and that game ended, I turned off my computer and went to bed. I was like, you know what? It was like 3:30 in the morning. I'm done with this. I'm just
Forget
done I'm done caring about people and then watching them get eliminated. I was just done. And I mean, in a weird way, it's kind of like a game of rugby, right? Where you've got your starting lineup and then your reserves. And, we were kind of done with our starting lineup kind of since Trey was gone and B was gone, and we just left with our reserves, right? And I don't know about you, V, but after like the dice roll game, I was thinking, who the hell are these people? It's literally like it's literally like that meme. That meme where it's like just that young blonde kid in the park. It's like really old, early 2000s. And he's just like, wait a minute, who are you? Like, that's how I felt about the last 6 people.
It was incredible. And I sort of, there was that the guy, Phil with the long hair, I remember seeing him in the very first episode getting picked in the where they were waiting for the car. And I'm like, gosh, he looks like Jay from Jay and Silent Bob. And then I'm like, it's that guy again. There he is.
I thought Phil was the only one who I recognized from the first couple episodes, because we did see a couple like we saw him hanging around, we saw him in groups and whatnot, but we like never really got to see much from him. And then once B left, Chad left as well, which I'll be perfectly honest, apart from him sleeping in the bed, what else did he really do? I know this sounds like really impressive, but he seemed like he was a center of a group, but we never got to see it. Yeah, it was quite.
Yeah, it's just like the producers are saying, well, you all need to go back to the first couple of episodes and watch them again. You all have to watch it from the start again. You need to now follow these guys. You thought we were giving you exactly who to follow. You thought you didn't have to pay attention because we were going to tell you who the winners were. But no. You've got to now go back to the start and rewatch the entire thing, which is what I'm going to do. Let's face it. Before the finale, I've got to see where Mai was this entire time, and Phil.
Yeah.
And who's the other guy? What's the other guy's name?
Sam.
Yeah. Who?
Sam. Let me just.
But now I'm a giant fan.
Yeah. Who? Who? Yeah. That's the most important thing. Who? All right. So, so this is Sam here. Yeah. Sam is like, he seems quite funny. I've really enjoyed his presence in the show. One guy who I did really love was Perna. I absolutely loved him. He was so funny. And even this moment in the glass bridge where he's like, hey, I'm going to do it. Everyone pull for me. Yeah! When he's stuck that line. I loved that so much. And seeing Roller 6 was also just so devastating. Who's a few others? Oh, here we go.
Oh,
Mucky.
Yeah, that was sad.
Mucky. I loved Mucky so much. Yeah. Like, I mean, it was perfect timing. We just got the emotional backstory on how he's gonna, have the money for his kids, set up a great future, and then BAM! He dies. He's fallen through.
Full-time carer, bless him. Yeah.
No, he's an absolute legend. I loved him so much. But we'll just quickly fast forward into episode 9, the final 6. And as I said, who? Am I right? Like who are these people?
Roland, I didn't remember from before that.
Yes.
Yeah, I hadn't remembered him. But he was fabulous as well.
Yeah, Rose
I hadn't really remembered.
Rose hadn't remembered. Haley. Or Holly.
Has never thrown up.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Loves drinking cocktails and has never thrown up. Yeah, it's fantastic. But it's also kind of like... I wish I had that special power. But yes, so it's kind of like, we're down to the final 6. And so a problem that I kind of had, right, and I was discussing this with some of my friends, is that, quite often with Survivor, you have like your main characters who make it quite deep in the game. Some of them get cut just short. And it's just so gut-wrenching. Even with $1 Million Island, which is probably the best show to compare this to, because it's had the second highest number of casts with 100 people. by the final 10, you knew everyone that was there, some more than others, but you still kind of knew who everyone was, what camp they were in, the alliances, etc., right? And potentially who could have potentially won, who were like the big game players. With this final 6, I did not know anyone, which it made it exciting, but also in sort of like, I guess, like the long game, like, sort of like, okay, where were these people kind of throughout, right? Because you kind of want I feel like at this point, just skip ahead to the final 3, I feel like if Mai doesn't win, like, does Phil, I mean, everyone deserves to win their show, right? Everyone deserves to win their show, but I kind of feel like we haven't really seen a story from them, right? We haven't really seen that extra bit to make us really care about them, invest in them, love them. Whereas at least with Mai, we definitely have since pretty much from the last bridge onwards, right? We've seen her, so we've seen how deceptive she can be, how fantastic she is at reading people. But with Phil and Sam, it's like Phil's got long hair and Sam's got a marvelous beard, and he's tall.
Well, I think we saw a little bit of Phil's perception as well in that final game, how he was able just to get it right every time. I think they're going to really make a lot of these 3 in the final episode. And I think it is a dare from the producers to go back and rewatch the first couple of episodes. Sorry, I think my headphones you talk while I swap over headphones.
Right, sounds good. So, I guess I'll just kind of, blab on. So we get introduced to this brand new game as well, as one of the final games. And not gonna lie, if I'm being perfectly honest, I'll bring this up with a V in case you can't hear me. I was thinking it's gonna be musical chairs, and I was thinking, what on earth is this, right? Like, how can you bring musical chairs into such a deadly, most dangerous game? But unfortunately, it was not musical chairs, sadly. I was thinking we could get some,
No.
Right, are you there? All right.
Yes, I'm back.
what I was just saying earlier is that, we got introduced to a brand new game. And when I first saw the chairs,
why not?
When I first saw the chairs, do you know what I honestly thought? It's musical chairs. That's the final game. It's musical chairs. They're going to play, there's so many remixes of, the Squid Game Pink Soldiers theme with, like, the red light, green light in Korean and whatnot. I was thinking they're going to play that or something, like just like a bunch of the different remixes or something that other people done on YouTube. I don't know. But no, sadly, it was not musical chairs. It was...
Well, for me, it was a little bit like when they did the game that TJ led, the dice game, and then this game, when they explained it, I was like, well, that's stupid. How could that possibly be interesting to watch? And then I was like, oh, this is brutal.
Yeah. It is brutal. And, it was so interesting because it's like, not only is it a game of trust, it's also a game of, have you gotten to know these people well during your time here, right? Because... So basically, everyone sat in a circle blindfolded, and the pink soldier circled them. If you were tapped on the shoulder, you had to give this box to another player who you want to eliminate, and then you'll go back to your seat. And if and once the blindfolds come off, that person who's received the box has to take a guess on who gave them the box. If they're right, person who gave them the box is eliminated, but if they're wrong, then they are eliminated. What was your thoughts on this game?
Again, when they explained it, I'm like, well, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And then, and then they did it, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. Because again, I think Mike kicked it off. It was like, well, Ashley will know it's me, you know. Yeah. So she immediately kicked off that thinking of, well, it has to be someone that wouldn't suspect me. It has to be someone who's almost an ally. And and then I was like, oh, that's interesting. Oh my gosh. So these little games, it's almost like schoolyard bully sort of games where they're like a schoolyard pick kind of thing where it's just fascinating to watch, but sounds so simple. It's incredible.
it's really simple, but just really brutal as well. And yeah, this is saying that the most simple ones are the most brutal, right? And we do see friends turning on friends. We saw Phil take out a close friend of his, Haley, which we got introduced to that friendship at the start of the episode as well, which I thought that was fantastic storytelling. I did not see that coming. We saw them as a type 2.
Yeah.
Phil and Sam are a type 2. They're kind of like a 3. But then Phil betrays Haley in the end. I was like, wow, that is fantastic. Because I watched this final episode, literally today, right, on my work breaks. Because I was thinking, oh, wait, I've got a podcast. Oh my gosh, I should watch a fun episode. So I was watching it. And did you notice at the final round, they did not show who got the box?
No, I wondered if I just missed it, so they didn't show it.
Yeah, because I kept going back, and I was like, who put the box on? Oh, yeah, I just kept missing it, right? And then a friend would come and join me. They're like, hey, Mark. I'm like, not now! Go away! But they never actually showed who the Pink Soldiers tapped, which I thought was so interesting because when Haley picked Mai, I was thinking, oh, Mai's done for. Like it must have been Mai. Maybe I just didn't see it, but no. She got sung-wooed. It was Phil.
And he had to do it. And good on him.
Yeah, and it was a great read by Haley as well, which is if Mai was to do it, she had to pick Haley because it just raises her chances, right? So I feel like but like Haley as well had pretty good reads. Phil as well.
That was a hard one.
Yeah, that was a real hard one. Yeah. But Phil, let's quickly talk about Phil. His reads were spot on. So spot on. Like 2 people picked him twice. Ashley and I forgot the other person. Who was the other person? Amanda?
Was it even Mai, maybe?
No, it was not Mai.
No, it wouldn't have been. No.
Yeah.
No, I can't remember.
Was it Amanda? No.
Possibly. It was an ally, I think.
Okay. Hang on. Let me just have a look at the cast.
But he showed incredible
it was Rose.
Perception.
It was Rose.
Rose, yes.
Yeah.
He showed incredible perception and reading people, and then he didn't get picked. Like that was really thank you. that was really real talent there. Now, Sam, now I don't recall his participation in that final game.
I don't think he did. I don't think anyone gave him a box, and I don't think he was ever selected.
Okay, so he's got a lot to live up to for the audience's expectations in the next episode to make us care about him.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
he's kind of skated his way through to the end. Yeah,
it's quite interesting because we even do have one player as well, Elliot, who he was the one who had picked Mai. He's like, I see Mai as a big threat. I'm gonna pick her, and Mai just breaks him apart. She just reads everything he does, the way he looks, the way he's sitting, the way he's acting. She's like, it was you, and you can just tell he's just like, damn, I almost got away with it. But we're left with this final 3 of Mai, Phil, and Sam. And something I've been saying this entire podcast: Who are these people? Who are these people?
Going back to the first episode to rewatch. That's what the producers are daring us to do.
Like, where's our? Yeah, at least with Ashley, which we do lose Ashley in this game. Unfortunately, I know that Ashley's a very controversial opinion. Oh, not controversial opinion. She's a very controversial player at the moment. But I feel like, end of the day, she made great TV drama. Losing Trey, it really sucked. But at the same time, it's like if there were plenty of people who had collapsed on the glass bridge. That was like, oh, I never even knew you anyway, so I don't really care. Like, but like Trey and TJ lose, that was gut wrenching. Yeah, but we're left with this final 3. What's your thoughts on this final 3?
I think, yeah, like you said, like I said before, I think we've got to get a bit of a Sam edit for at the top of next week, just to make us care and show us what he can do, and it really introduce us to him properly. I'm guessing, Squid Game will be final 2. I feel like it would be weird for them not to, but also they never actually played Squid Game in Squid Game, the scripted show. They just sort of battle royale to the death.
Well, if you
so it'll be interesting to see how they subvert that.
I don't know if you saw it, but at the dinner, the big triangle dinner, there was 3 buttons on each person's side. So I feel like that's what determines the final 3 to the final 2. Or unless one of them somehow secretly took a trapdoor of a glass shard to the stomach, and also
there's still time.
there's still time.
I didn't see any broken glass. There is an opportunity for murder to occur, surely. But yes, they will need to pretty much rewrite how they're going to do the entire ending, because they can't do what they did in the scripted show. So it'll be, and also like no one watching actually, well, I'm sure there are many thousands of people who know how Squid Game is actually played and has seen it played. It's very Western of me to say that no one knows how it's played. Me, as someone growing up in Australia, I have no idea what Squid Game actually is, and I think there'd be quite a few Australian viewers that would feel the same. Probably a lot of people around the world that will go, yeah, we can see them actually play Squid Game. So I have no idea how that would, if they were actually playing it, how that would play out, how that would look. So it's a complete mystery to me. And also whether we're going to have just one 40-minute episode, or if they're going to do sort of like an 80 or 90-minute episode. I think there's enough content that they've got to, but there's only one episode scheduled left. So it's all a mystery to me. I can't, and so far, I don't think we're having it.
Oh, sorry, we're having some technical difficulties here, V. Are you still there? All right, I think we have lost V. Unfortunately,
I'm back. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Now we can.
Now I don't know what happened.
So
I'm back.
What was it V just said?
So the next episode's a complete mystery to me on what they're going to do in terms of length, in terms of game. We never saw Tug of War. I think that's the only original game that we haven't seen. I can't pick what they're going to do. Yeah,
it's going to be quite interesting to see what they're going to do, and also how they're going to do it as well, because we did see that in the Korean drama, it was just a complete free-for-all with 2 knives, and
just murder.
Yeah, and Roblox
and suicide.
And suicide. And Roblox Squid Game, and something that I just recently found, because I just randomly thought, why not? Was there's a Squid Game mode on Fortnite.
Oh God, of course there is. Why not?
And I gave the hot crack, and and even just the final, it's like, here's your weapon. Just kill. Just kill. Like, there's no game. It is just a free for all. And so, I would love to actually see.
Somehow, I don't think Netflix has the insurance to cover that. I don't. Insurance to cover. No. It's just a battle to the death.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm there in the end and it's with someone I'm close with, I'm like, even if it's you, if it's Kahuna, if it's Chris, I'm saying we're fighting to the death here. Like, I don't care what producers say. Let's make it look epic. Let's, let's have a mean fight. Let's not, willy wally our way through. Let's,
So who do you want to see a fist fight between? Mai and Sam, or Sam and Phil, or Mai and Phil?
I would love a fist fight between Mai and Sam. Like, just there's a big height difference, because I think Mai. Now here's the strategy. Now here's a theory. I think Mai is like the old man from the Korean drama Squid Game. right? And that's how she's gotten
Oh, that
so
would
far
be
into
dope.
this. That's how she's gone so far. I think imprinted on her glasses on the inside is kind of like some Iron Man stuff where she can just calculate
Yeah.
and see things before they even happen. So as Sam is like, going to punch her, like,
Yeah.
she's able to dodge away and slide away through.
Yeah.
Yeah. She
Yeah,
could even be like Yoda
definitely.
for all we know. And it's doing just, flipping around, flipping around him during the fight.
I think you must be right.
Sure. I mean, surely that's what
That
happens.
makes
Right?
the most sense as to what's
Yeah.
going to happen.
Yeah. But I actually have no idea what's going to happen.
No.
It does seem like there's going to be at least one more test or one more game just based on the next time on. But
Yeah.
and then the official Squid Game. But how's the Squid Game going to work? What test do you think it would be? Like, do you have any
With
guesses
three
on what it
people,
could be?
I can't even think. With three people, like it almost have to be pure luck. Or
Yeah.
making a decision that ends up being the wrong decision, but you didn't know you're making a decision when you made the decision.
Yeah.
I've got no idea. I'm so excited. I've got absolutely no idea how they're going to do it. Maybe there are three people going to the front. Maybe it's a battle royale with three people, It's
Yeah.
just,
A
maybe something to do with
three-way
three
fist fight.
buttons,
Yeah.
like,
The three
it's going to be
buttons.
fabulous.
The three buttons. So there's a lights out game mode, which, as we saw in the Korean version, there's like the lights flashing, the beds falling over, and everyone's killing each other. In Crab Game, there's a lights out mode, and in Roblox and Fortnite as well. But most famous in Crab Game, you get given a random weapon. It can be from a gun to 20 bullets. There is a hack which someone has been given a flamethrower, which that was insane. But you could go from a katana, a gun, a baseball bat, a pipe, and even just a stick. But the stick does nothing. If you have a stick, you're pretty much done for. All you can do is just run.
So maybe it'll be lights out if everyone presses a button and see, and we'll see who survives.
Everyone pushes a button. No, how about this? Everyone pushes a button for the final game, and it's like the weapon. And like, imagine if Sam gets like a club, Phil gets a sword, and Mike gets like an AK-47. I don't know, like just like a gun or something.
Again, that is the most reasonable thing that could possibly happen as an option. Yes. Mine with a machine gun. Yes.
Yeah, mine with a machine gun. And that's how she wins Squid Game. There's only there's only 2 injuries on the show, and it's because they both got shot.
Well, it is America, so
it is America.
Sorry, Americans.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that kind of is the full recap of episode 69.
That's it. That's all she wrote.
Well, a lot happened. Not a lot really happened as well. I guess what's been your overall thoughts on the show? Like, give me like your full honest thoughts.
Well, I think it's like you said, not a lot. It feels like not a lot has happened, and it's a little bit like the scripted show where the games are so simple. And like I said before, you go, well, that's stupid when they explain it. Like the cookie thing, you go, well, that's stupid. And what it is that human drama that that's people under stress and stress that only either life or death or $4 million, and who knows what that is after tax in the US, but that human stress that puts on people and that mob mentality that we've seen, and it's just brutal and fabulous, and there's no real sort of game playing because no one really knew what was happening. So I'm so excited to see what they do in the final episode. I'm excited what they could possibly do. Maybe if they do a season 2, I guess maybe it will follow along whatever happens in season 2 of Squid Game and the scripted show. I can't pick it. I have no idea what's going to happen next, and I think that's such fun when you can watch a show and go, I can't wait to see how they do this. I think that's such a treat. So I'm completely hooked. This one, I've told all my friends, if you're going to watch any sort of competition show, Squid Game, the challenge has to be at the top of your list. It's fabulous.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the show overtakes Survivor for me. Like, I mean, now bear in mind, Survivor's been going on for a long time now. There's been many different variations of the show. like you know, in terms of gameplay and whatnot. But I just think just this one season's been such a massive hit. I think a season 2 of this could be interesting because something that Kahuna and I talked about, which I'd love to hear your opinion. But a lot of the games seem very Western.
Yes.
Whereas they casted globally for this show, and it would be great to see many different games of many different cultures. And I feel like you could actually do that, like have like a Squid Game. Like you could leave the final game as Squid Game, right? You know, you could easily do that. If you want to leave the first game red light, green light, you know, that's the iconic opening to the Squid Game. You can leave us, you know, that being the first game. But you know, you can easily swap out the cookie, you know, the marble one and whatnot. Like how great would it be if we had like a Chinese children's game, a New Zealand Aussie one, a Russian one, you know, like a Canadian one, European one, you know, even an African one, you know, like just get so many different games around the world. That would be so cool and so fascinating because you're also learning about a different culture as well.
Exactly.
In a life or death situation.
I would adore that. And I do. My one criticism is, I think you guys mentioned last week, is that there does seem to be a real US home in this show. The first thing I noticed was everyone from the US had their states listed, not the US, and everyone outside the US had their country listed. So like UK, Australia. So rather than saying US, they're like, oh, they're from Texas. It's like, yep, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, to make this game could be made a lot more international, and I think that would make it far more exciting because we're bombarded with US centric reality shows, and so sort of broadening that net would make it far more exciting. That's the only sort of criticism I would draw from the show. But you know, that could have been with the casting, who knows, many reasons for that. But I think throwing that net a bit wider would be a really good idea.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think the show's been a massive hit, you know, despite, you know, I guess the Americans overload. Like, I've loved a lot of the cast. Like, I don't think there's a single player that I'm like, oh my gosh, I hate them. You know, like maybe I'll not like some of their moves. You know, like I will admit, you know, when Ash made her move, I was very mad, very frustrated. But at the same time, I was so mad. Yeah, I was really mad. But I respect that. Yeah. I really do. And you know, good on Ashley for making that move and lasting as far as she did. Right? Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, and even players like Brighton, you know, like unfortunately, I don't think Brighton was really going to last long in this game, anyways, compared to you know. The next test after his elimination was, okay, someone has to choose 3 players to eliminate right then and there. I think everyone was going for Brighton at that point. So, yeah, it's the cast's been great. I've absolutely loved the cast. I think that towards the end has probably been the weakest point of the show for me, just in terms of not really knowing who everyone is. But at the same time, like maybe. You know, sometimes they edit things, you know, just based on who's doing what at the time. Maybe the 3 of them just weren't really doing anything in the beginning. And then after Marbles, Maya was like, okay, I'm going to kick it up a notch, you know, and obviously Phil, maybe he's come out of his shell a bit more, and same with Sam. So who knows what's going to happen in the end. I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who has, you know, come here to join us on the live. Unfortunately, Kahuna was not here with us today. He was a wee bit sick. That's why we had to delay the podcast. So then the wonderful and gorgeous V could join us. And I just want to say thank you so much, V. You know, you're literally one of our Squid Game experts now. You know, when I
once now that I've seen everything.
It's quite funny because after one of our UK podcasts, we had a chat, and you said, you know, if you're going to do anything nerdy, I would love to be a part of it. And I was like, okay, I want to get you on for Squid Game. You're like, okay, I haven't seen Squid Game. I'm still gonna talk about it anyways. But you've seen
and then I sat down and I watched it.
Yes, yeah. You know, you watch the Korean drama, you watch the reality TV version of it. You're one of our Squid Game experts now, and I just want to say thank you so much, V, for coming on and doing this podcast with me. It's been wonderful.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for having me. I may not know anyone's names, but I know them as the girl that did the thing that did and then she did that. That's
Yeah.
That's how I remember everyone.
It's quite funny because when I was making my Google slide, I was thinking, oh, like I was typing in people on Google, like just to
Yeah.
try find who everyone was. And then it was only like a few days ago, I found this Netflix site. I was like, oh, you've got to be joking. They've
Oh, there
already
you go.
booted me to it.
See, they know no one remembers names. They're like, here they all are for you.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, if you are new to the channel, please smash that subscribe button down below. We will be back again to talk about the grand finale of Squid Game The Challenge. It's been a fantastic ride all the way through. Great characters, shocking moments, wonderful, beautiful moments as well. Quite often a reality show does not make me tear up. During the marbles, I was definitely tearing up a lot, and seeing Trey go, and also our queen bee, because she's got the bee's knees. Sorry, I just always have to say those two lines together. But yeah, seeing our queen bee go as well, that was really sad. So if you're just checking out this review but haven't seen the show, definitely go watch it. But until then, thank you so much for joining. V and I will be back together again in just a few days' time to talk about the next series of episodes of Survivor UK. So what? And so much more content coming your way. So thank you so much, everyone, for coming to the live, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Thank you, everyone. Bye.